Hello, American Bannermen. This is Brian Beck, the head tournament organizer for this year's U.S. Nationals, here with some updates on tournament entries and some prizes. I am here sitting at my paint desk today instead of downstairs in my dungeon. With this unflattering light, looks much better on my miniatures than it does on me, because what I want to talk about today, in part, is painting. So, for U.S. Nationals, we currently have 47 players signed up, paid, ready to go, and we've got 5 months to go. We want to try to hit at least 80 players. That we had 83 for Nationals last year, and I don't see any reason why we can't match that number this year. Song of Ice and Fire is a unique miniatures game in one particular way, in that it is one of the few games that has an active tournament scene but doesn't require you to paint your miniatures. That's a mixed blessing. It means that it makes the game a lot more accessible to newer players because you don't have to assemble and paint your miniatures before you start playing, the way that you do with Warhammer or Conquest or most other major army scale miniatures games. But it also means that a lot of times the games don't look quite as pretty on the table, and some of the other miniatures players look down on us because of it. Personally, I believe that ideally everyone should be painting. You start playing the unpainted miniatures, but ultimately you want to make them look good on the table. Here I am working on some light bringers for my Brotherhood army. That's the current project on my table. Anyways, 5 months till Nationals. Consider this a challenge to be ready to be at Nationals with a fully painted army. And why is that a challenge? Why is that something that you want to do? A few reasons. Everyone is going to be able to play at Nationals, even with fully unpainted miniatures. But one of the things I've noticed in our local tournaments is that a lot of our players don't have the motivation to paint because they're intimidated by top painters. We've got Dave Meckler and me here. Dave is a much better painter than I am. He won Best Painted Army at Nationals a few years ago, I think. He won Best Painted Army at Adepticon as well. I try to compete with him, but it's, a lot of times the painting competitions just come down to the two of us. But I want to see everyone rewarded who tries to paint. So at Nationals this year, this is our official announcement that at Nationals this year, everyone who shows up with a fully painted army, painted to the kind of standard 3-color standard that is expected in most miniatures tournaments, will get a free U.S. Nationals dry brushing texture palette. Dry brushing texture palettes are great things. I have my own that I made myself with some extra sprues. Where is it? There it is. Extra sprues left over from some Warhammer kits. Makes dry brushing a lot better. This is not what you're getting at Nationals. We are designing and we'll have ready, I'll show it off once we have it ready, a 3D printed palette about the size of an infantry tray, that will have a textured picture and words, giving you, noting that you have received the title of Master of Art for attending U.S. Nationals with a fully painted army. And we'll have the kind of textures on it that you can take home, prime, and use as a dry brushing palette at home. But that's not all. Nationals, the last few years, has generally had 3 or 4 painting prizes. Best Unit, Best Army, Best Unit, Best Hero, and Best Army, judged Best Army Player's Choice. We are going to have more than that. As far as what the actual prizes are going to be for kind of the big awards, the Best Painted Army, Player's Choice, Best Unit, we're also going to have Best Diorama. We want to make sure we want to reward display boards, too. How big those prizes are going to be depends a lot on how many people show up. But one thing we can promise, and here we have the official announcement, we are going to have awards in addition to those kind of best overall prizes. We are going to have an award for the best painted army for each faction. So there will be awards for best painted army, judged, best painted army, player's choice, and then after those two, the next best painted army, the best painted army in each of the 11 factions is going to get an award. And at least part of that award is going to be a 3D printed wet dry palette that we have designed ourselves. I've printed out the Greyjoy version right here. You can see it comes with a lid showing that you were the best painted Greyjoy. Under the lid is a white insert here with 24 wells that you can use for your speed paints and your washes. The paints that you want to use on a dry palette. And then under the white insert is a black insert that has room for a wet palette. I generally paint with an Army Painter brand wet palette. This was made to be the same size, so your Army Painter, so that it'll fit an Army Painter sponge and hydration paper will be able to fit in here. So you'll have your own, if you win one of these best faction palettes, you will have your own combo wet dry palette declaring your prowess as a painter. And I don't want the best painted army and the player's choice to lose out, so here they are also going to receive one of these 3D printed wet dry palettes. So, U.S. Nationals is coming up. 5 months. You've got 5 months to paint an army. 5 months to compete for the best painted army in your faction. Get started.